XRP lawsuit is now over, but it isn't just major news for XRP. There is one altcoin that fits all the same criteria as XRP, and that is Cardano. Now just look at this graphic here. Here are the big winners of the US crypto policy, and only one coin fits all the segments just like XRP does. Now these are coins that have ETF applications, check. Made in America, check. Mentioned by Trump on Truth Social, check. And blockchain project founders have attended the White House, or the CEO in XRP's case, so also a check. And so this XRP victory is going to have huge implications for Cardano. In fact, we're going to go all the way back to 2017 for a very important trend line that's going to be important in 2025. And the XRP victory is very important for Cardano. We have a trend line going all the way back to 2017 because we need to dive into the charts to see when can Cardano hit $1 and begin its next leg up in this bull run. Now, Charles Hoskinson, very happy for the XRP community. He said it is a great victory for crypto and congratulations to XRP Nation. It is time to build again. And Charles Hoskinson, of course, the founder of Cardano and co-founder of Ethereum. And Charles is very familiar with SEC lawsuits. The SEC lawsuits against Binance, Cardano is named. The SEC lawsuit against Coinbase, Cardano is named. So Cardano has been thrown under the bus just like XRP. But there are two things we need to look at before we go into the Cardano charts. That is whale activity and the sentiment of Cardano. So when we're looking at whale activity, Ollie Charts has just reported that whales have bought 190 million Cardano in the last 24 hours. You see the line here. You can see the line was flat just for days and days and days, and then huge accumulation by the crypto whales. And oftentimes you want to buy with the whales because the whales are the smart money. They're buying before the pump a lot of the time. Now, when we go to the sentiment, Cardano's sentiment is hitting its highest bullish mark in over 4 months, but it's what happened 4 months ago that is important. So the way they're measuring this is positive comments per one negative comment towards ADA. We have now hit 3.5. This is the highest since October 30th, November 6th week. Now look what happened last time we had positive Cardano sentiment. You see Cardano sentiment was positive, and then the price took off like a rocket. And then you saw that the sentiment then fell off a cliff as the whales were selling. So people were selling their Cardano, and now we can see the sentiment is now reaching new heights. I want to give a quick shout out to LBank Exchange. It is my favorite exchange to get all of the latest trading pairs, all of the hottest meme coins and altcoins. You can go to the spot trading, or you could do futures perpetual trading. And we have a link down below with the tutorial on the top of our page. Tons and tons of features here, 24/7 customer support, huge reach here, huge volume, millions of users, and they have over 200 countries and regions covered. So go ahead, open up an account, deposit some funds, and start your trading journey. All right, well now let's dive into the charts. So the first chart, that with the 2017 trend line, I said something important happened in 2017 that we're going to be talking about today that's important in 2025, but also something that happened in 2018 that has big effects for 2025. This is Cardano priced in Bitcoin. Now this trend line is dating all the way back to basically the genesis of Cardano. And then you can see it bounced along the trend line. We fell below it, and just now, as we're speaking, we are coming down back to this trend line that has been dating back years. You can see we wicked up here on the weekly, and when we go to the daily, you can see, had a little bit of activity around this level. So still telling me that this trend line has some legs. This is a trend line to watch. And so Cardano priced in Bitcoin really doesn't have that much further to fall. We could wick below. You saw it happen here. That was a very, very bearish period. Now, if we measure that, looks like Cardano could fall about another 4% against Bitcoin. But when you're looking at the potential upside, 4% is certainly worth it. Now, last time we bounced off this trend line during the bear market, we ended up pumping huge gains against Bitcoin. Cardano did over a 10x relative to Bitcoin. So very important, this Cardano Bitcoin chart. Now let's get into Cardano USD. But I also said there's some important levels from 2018. Well, that's going to happen with where we are at right now, right around 850 Satoshis. These are units of Bitcoin. So when we draw a horizontal line, we put it right where we're at on the price, you can see this is an important level. This is when we were hitting it in November 2018. If we go to the daily chart here, kind of zoom over to that level, you can see very, very strong support. Acted as another point of control around this area, and then acted as support, acted as support, and we are testing the limits as we speak. So very, very important level. This line goes all the way back to 2018 for support for Cardano. So Cardano Bitcoin trading pairs, potentially a little bit of move to the downside, but I'm seeing a lot of indications of strong support. Now Cardano priced in USD, seen a lot of fluctuations. You can see, just massive swings with this XRP news, with the XRP lawsuit news, and Trump spoke earlier today. You can see all coins falling off a cliff. But when we go to the 4-hour candles, you can see a little bit of a trend line that shows, a little bit of weakness, a little bit of room down below. So I'm going to be watching this level as well. So to the downside, Cardano could fall potentially, again, about 4 or 5%, not the end of the world. It's going to put Cardano right around 68, 69 cents, depending on how long it takes to hit these levels. So let's just say 69 cents. Cardano could fall a couple extra pennies. But the room to the upside, the potential upside, more than offsets the potential downside. Looking at the top of this level, we are above $1. This is going to be around a 35-40 cent pump. You're looking at $1.10 ADA. And so if we get continued bullishness from Bitcoin, I do expect Cardano to be able to hit this range and then eventually flip it into support. And then that's where we're going to be able to see the Cardano bull run that we are used to. 2017, 2018 bull run looked beautiful. 2021 looked beautiful. And so far, the 2024, 2025 bull run, it's lacking a lot of substance, and we want to see a lot more green candles. Now, switching over to the daily chart, let's look at the relative strength indexes. The last thing I wanted to show you on Cardano, we did get some bullish divergence. We were kind of reporting this on the live stream. You can see the price creating a lower low while Cardano's RSI was creating a higher low. And now we're continuing to see strength in the RSI. So I still like where we're at on the RSI. We haven't broken down. We're still showing strength. We're still showing some support here. And so as of now, we are still bullish on Cardano. Now, one thing I am going to do is open a trade. When I'm looking on the short-term time frames, looks like we're just getting a little oversold on the 5-minute candles, relative strength index, falling off a cliff. And typically when the RSI gets this oversold on the shorter time frames, we do see a lot of recovery here, nice recovery, hit here, nice recovery. And if we just go down to the previous one, you can see, all right, we hit oversold here, also had a nice recovery on the shorter time frames. Now, this is going to be a short-term trade. This is not something to, go to sleep, walk away with. This was only pumping for about 6 hours, so very, very short trade. We just opened it, right before I started filming this. We were up about 37 bucks. We're still, obviously, we want to see a lot more room to the upside. We're looking at a nice potential entry around this level. And so this is L Bank. We're going to have a link down below. Now, I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, hopefully talking you off the ledge. If you're thinking about selling your Cardano, do not sell your Cardano and try to ape into XRP. I think Cardano is going to lift with XRP, and in fact might even be a little bit more oversold, and so we could see better potential pumps, in my opinion. And hopefully I'll see you in your ADA bags at the top.